Hello everyone and welcome to the Art Speaks. What we're going to be showing you during our time together today and in the future is an opportunity to explore. We'll be focusing on art in an unconventional way, trying to give an appreciation to the styles and methods that go unnoticed. From the weird to the wonderful, nothing is off limits. I'm your host, Madeline Young, and we have a packed show for you today as we explore a familiar but perhaps not fully understood concept: community. What does community mean? What is it limited to? How can we connect to our community? All those questions and more will be answered as we explore how to express our art through our local community. But first, our field host Alisa Hamilton has been out this week exploring a community like no other, steeped in history and only 2 inches tall. Let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Alisa Hamilton. Today I'm at the Cannon Hill Model Train Club. Today they're welcoming us into their community to show us the craft in action and how the art speaks.
The layout that's outside there is based on a English scene. So the big thing with modelling British railways is that the architecture and the scenery doesn't change. So if you look at the semi-detached houses, the terraced houses, it's 2025 now, but going back then and going back further, the architecture never changes. The train club, yes, is always looking to expand it. So we're getting to a stage here with this premises that we're outgrowing it. We've got a lot of fellas in this morning. If we can obtain a bigger premises, we do that. But also we're building other layouts. So this one here is going to be a Queensland style type layout, and the next project after that's an N-scale layout, which is a 1:148 scale. So it's smaller.
Wayne and I helped him build all the tables and that basic layout. Then Gary got involved and laid the tracks. Ken did a lot of the wiring, and because I'm basically English and it's an English layout which they decided on, so I sort of became the de facto authority on what England looks like. So I come up with some ideas and said, well, will we always be here, or is there a chance we might move? So I tried to make everything so it's demountable, and most of that stuff you see actually lifts off. Disconnect the wiring and take it away. And we did some rough ideas on what it might look like, with a town in the middle and the country at one end and the industrial area at the other end, and let it grow from there. And everybody gives their ideas, and whether they're big ideas or detail. Some we accept, some we don't, and it's a lazily democratic process, I think, is probably the best way of describing it. We pay an annual membership. Most of us actually pile in quite a bit more. You buy stuff and so on. I've been doing some of the electronics. I do all the sound and all the movements in the children's playground. That was all scratch built from nothing, so I buy all that stuff. Generally don't charge the club. Most of us do put a bit of extra money in. Don't really worry about it too much. It's a hobby. There is a certain body of opinion that sort of says, yes, it's pretty boring stuff, but as you've seen, when you get into it, there's an awful lot involved. Not everyone's a rivet counter. There's a lot of electronics involved, a lot of observation of what goes on, and then trying to recreate that in a miniature scale, which is interesting, and you have to make adjustments. When you've got a 6-foot human being which is 1 inch high, you have to squeeze everything down, and that makes it quite a challenge to bring in a level of detail. And as I often said, there's a difference between detail and clutter. And some of these layouts you look at, they've got fairgrounds and all sorts of stuff, which you don't find that often when you're walking around anywhere. So we've tried to avoid that as a group and put in the sort of things that you would find, like your terraced houses, your marketplace, and the industrial gasworks sort of thing. These would be around in any sort of small town, I suppose, in the UK. So we've tried to avoid the sort of that fancy stuff, and I think it's better for it. You could spend a lot of time looking at the detail. Yes, that's the whole idea.
The club, whilst it's primarily trains, it has that social aspect to it, which also has become a very important part of what we do here.
Big thank you to the Cannon Hill Model Train Club for letting me in today and showing me around. Thank you, Mike and Pete, for chatting with me, and go check them out on Facebook. They are so cool, and maybe go check out your local club. Have fun.
Thank you, Alisa, for that deep dive into the incredible work and getting to know some of the faces behind those detailed model train sets. Now, before we go any further, we're going to have a look at some up-and-coming events in the local art community this week. On the 6th of December, a brand new exhibit is opening in the Ipswich Art Gallery called The Machine Man by Christopher Bentley. The exhibit explores the fragility of digital memory and the inevitability of technological obsolescence. You can find those details directly on the Ipswich Art Gallery website. The 7th of December will see the return of the Art Dolls of Australia convention, where they will showcase the latest collections of reborn and silicon babies from across Queensland. You can find those details on their Facebook page at Art Dolls of Australia. And finally, there's a brand new gallery exhibit opening on the 4th of December called The Burgerverse by the brilliantly talented Kasia Sykes. You can find the exhibit at the Borough in West End between the 4th of December to the 5th of January. So don't miss your opportunity. So check it out, and remember to support your local art community. Speaking of the Burgerverse, I can think of no better way to connect to the local community than through food. And our guest for today's show understands that art, much like food, is about excitement, curiosity, and connection. She's not only a professional food styler, but she's also a talented artist. Please give a warm welcome to the mastermind behind the Burgerverse, Kasia Sykes.
Hey
Kasia.
How are you, Maddie?
I'm good. It's so lovely to meet you, honestly. Welcome to the Art Speaks.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, I hear that you've got some wonderful stuff to show me, and as we chat through your art,
Yeah,
I'm going to
let's
put
get into it.
myself in your shoes
Oh,
to
okay.
experience your method of art and
Yeah, of course.
how you make such wonderful creations. We do have some art materials with us that we can use for our pieces.
Yes, and I bought some paint markers as well.
Wonderful.
So we can really get into it today.
Let's
if
begin
you
then.
like.
Yeah.
So what type of burger? Well, first of all, obviously, I am a painter. And I work in the acrylic medium, and at the moment I'm fixated on burgers. So shall we paint a burger
For
today?
sure, let's do it. Before we get into the process as well, I should ask, why burgers?
So I professionally work as a food stylist, which you've already mentioned. And I just think as a creative in life, you kind of find inspiration from everywhere. I spent a lot of time last year on a really big project for a really high-end brand. And I had all this extra creative energy that I needed to put somewhere else. So from food styling, I crossed over into painting and started painting burgers.
And the
there's
magic starts
tomorrow.
from
Yeah,
there.
super fixated.
Wonderful. So how does your process work for creating one of these?
So actually when I paint a burger, I create it I would style it on set. So I start from the bottom and go upwards.
Can you walk me through it?
Yeah, so let's get into it. All right.
Wonderful.
So you can pick whatever burger you wanna paint today.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
I'm gonna go for yellow for a classic bun colour.
I might do the same. You're the expert here.
Cool.
So.
All right. So the way I work is building from the bottom up. When you're starting out, the easiest way to think about it is to work in blocks of rectangles, and you go up. So if you want to do your burger bun bottom. I wouldn't worry too much as well about it being perfect.
Yeah.
I think with food styling, the perfectionism of that, when I first started painting, I tried to bring it over into my painting work. But I actually find with the community, people respond to the artworks that are most organic.
Right.
So most organic in shape. If I get a bit too neat and tidy, people will like admire it, but the ones that like people want to collect and take home are always like more of the free form ones.
So
which
do
I find really
you
interesting.
encourage really playing with that imperfection and personal style?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you think of the way that food in real life interacts with each other, there's folds and creases and dents, you know. So like when I paint it, a lot of people also like would start with a blank canvas where I would probably colour it in before I would start building on it. That's why when I add layers, like you can see the previous layers underneath it. So like if a piece of cheese is on the patty,
Yeah.
in real life, you're gonna see it where it touches. So like when I draw a patty, so we'll draw a patty next. I don't even know if I have brown, so I'm gonna have to improv. Oh, here's brown now.
How did you get into, how did you start out art as a whole? Was it something that you were always very interested in? Or was there that kind of catalyst moment?
I think like ornately, like if you're a creative person and like you have an idea and kind of like a taste of like what you know and what you like, your natural curiosity is like going to bring out different creative mediums and like you're going to want to explore this. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. And what kind of support then have you seen from your local community in, I guess, working with that curiosity?
So much support. Originally, I was never going to like share my art with the world because when I make art, I'm going to do it anyway, like despite whether or not someone sees it.
Yeah.
When you're a creative person, you always have this energy you want to like churn through. And so when I started sharing it, like literally only 4 months ago, which is wild, the response has been like so great. When I create, I want it to be joyful, bold, kind of like a connection of play that you experience as a child, you know? So when we get into adulthood, we kind of lose that connection. So it is like the exploration which you were talking about before.
I want to touch on that then. Do you find any limitations that arise around that when you're trying to get people engaged in this sort of artwork and to give up the need for maybe control or perfection and embrace that childless?
Yeah, that's really interesting. I don't want everyone to like my artwork. If they did, then I'm doing something wrong. So like, if you can take a moment and have a look at it and explore it and understand that like I'm trying to create a visual language, like it is a painting of a burger, but like the minimalism is like the identity of like trying to signal that's a piece of tomato, that's a piece of cheese, and whatnot. So, sorry, what was your? I always go on tangents.
Oh, honestly, I'm the same here. I guess it was how you've answered my question pretty much. How you play with, or how you rather engage people in maybe giving up their reservations for it and accessing that childlike state. But I guess you've already answered that, and it goes hand in hand with maybe how your art is unique or unconventional.
Yeah, well, that's it. People sometimes the people that like enjoy it and maybe get it straight away are always like, oh, this makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Or they'd be like, if I had all the money in the world, I'd buy all of this. Like, I'd buy everything, you know, which is like kind of like nice in a way. So I guess the people who get it. And if you don't, that's okay also, because like, you know, not everything is for you.
It's the beauty of art.
Yeah.
I love that. So in that case then, how do you, I suppose, try and stay true to your process and your approach?
I think it's important that you actually get away from outside world influences. I know a lot of people are like tuned in online these days, and when I started painting, it was during a period where I had enough of being online continuously. Back to like community connection. We're online on our phones all the time. And like we see everyone and they're up to all these different things, you know, but like we're not outside like getting out there and actually making like a genuine connection in person.
Yeah.
And so that's like with my art exhibit next week, I want people to come along and have fun, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of your art exhibit, the gallery that's behind it, can you tell me a little bit about what people will see there and
Yeah, so the Burgerverse is just like a celebration of my journey so far, and the collection of like burger paintings that will be there of like any colour under the rainbow, basically, because I'm still in my emerging stage, so I don't really like have a set colour palette yet. But yeah, I just want people to come along and have a good time. It's not actually like a gallery, it's more of a restaurant, but it's kind of a well-known place in West End. So that grungy casual vibe goes into my work, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming in and walking us through your process. You have made so much more progress than I have.
Quickly finish it.
But we are coming towards the end of the show, so I suppose we should have a look at how we've done.
we didn't get very far.
No, but you know what? That's the
some more
beauty of
time
it.
next time.
You are the pro. So unfortunately, that is all the time that we had for today. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Kaja,
thank you,
like I've
Maddie.
said, for joining me today on our little art journey. A big thanks not only to the Cannon Hill Community Model Train Club for giving us an inside look into their operation, but also Kaja for sharing not only her journey, but her incredible art skills with us. Join us next week, where we will be looking into the social aspect of art. This has been the Art Speaks, and we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.
Bye.